Worldwide, bats have been given a bad rap. Portrayed as evil blood-sucking vampires and disease carriers, it's no wonder we see them as terrifying night stalkers. Bat lover Kate Richardson sets the story straight.
They are not just precious creatures, they are actually vital to our environment.
Kate and fellow bat enthusiasts from the Bat Interest Group in KwaZulu-Natal are on their way to visit a colony of bats who have taken up roost in a disused tunnel under Shongweni Dam just north of Durban.
Bats are the only things that eat night-flying insects. And also bats are pretty well the only thing that eat flying mosquitoes.
Fruit-eating bats are also vital.
Fruit bats do a large amount of tree pollination and seed spreading of our trees, our coastal forest trees, and especially the fruit bats in tropical Africa are vital to those big rainforests across Africa, which are the lungs of the earth.
So it's a worry that a number of bat species are critically endangered. And the biggest threat? Humans.
Okay, we're going to be careful how we handle this one because we don't know what it died of.
Habitat destruction, pesticides, and wind turbines kill bats. Still, these clever little creatures are finding a way to survive. The bats that live in Shongweni Tunnel have turned a man-made structure into a safe haven.
One of the things we want to do today is we want to catch particular species of long-fingered bats. We want to identify them, make sure we know what species we're dealing with, and then we're going to release them and we're going to record their calls as we release them.
The group share all the information they gather with other people interested in bats. Collectively, they hope that by keeping tabs on numbers and species, they will be able to help protect these cute critters. Bats are nocturnal and sleep during the day, hanging upside down.
It's a very safe way of living. The bats that are in the tunnel here, if something comes to disturb them, like us, all they have to do is let go with their toes and they're out and flying.
Wendy White is also batty about bats. She and students Sambulu Mhlongo and Zonama Jambe have gently scooped up some of these little animals. They have to be particularly careful because it's breeding season and many of the females will be pregnant.
It's a girl and you can see she's pregnant. Very pregnant. She's got a pup lying crosswise. The head is just here.
Most bat moms give birth to only a single pup each year, making them very vulnerable to extinction. They are the slowest reproducing mammals on Earth for their size. Most will fit into the palm of your hand. This is a long-fingered bat.
And this is why we call this a long-fingered bat, because this particular bone here at the end of the wing is so much longer than all the others.
A bat's wing is actually a modified arm and hand.
Shoulder, elbow, there's its hand, that's its little thumb, okay? And then these are its fingers. So same number of bones as us, it's just that the bones have got very long and thin, and then the skin has stretched right the way down.
This unique looking specimen is called a horseshoe bat.
And they are very pretty bats, as you can see there. Little ears are going all the time. Yeah, it's a leaf nose under the nose. That horseshoe is what gives it the horseshoe bat name. And then above, there's a little process that sticks up in the air, like a rhino horn. So the scientific name for these is Rhinolophus, after the rhino horn.
Both the long-fingered and the horseshoe bats are of the insect-chomping variety and live in caves. Fruit-eating bats are bigger, live in trees, and have very different faces.
They don't just eat fruit. They eat pollen, leaves, flowers, and so on. But they are generally bigger. They've got long noses because if you want to eat fruit at night, you need to have a good sense of smell. They've got bigger eyes. They fly on sight alone. They don't have that extra sense called echolocation. Echolocation is what our little bats, our insect-eating bats, use to find their way around at night. It's where they shout out a high-pitched sound and they listen to where that sound bounces back from.
Kate is hoping to dispel some of the myths about bats by introducing students to the animals.
No bats are blind, all bats have eyes, all bats can see.
Only 3 of the 1,200 known bat species actually drink blood. And even then, it's only a few drops. And they prefer to snack on birds and animals. Zona says her experience has opened her eyes.
Birds, they're just good animals. You shouldn't fear them.
Instead, encourage these delightful and valuable creatures to live close by planting indigenous trees and plants, and soon you'll have them literally hanging out in your backyard.